Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of JForex Indicators Explained, we will be considering one interesting indicator. The name is Inertia. This word is derived from the physical realm. In physics, we use the inertia to denote a state where a body continues to maintain the same velocity, same momentum, unless it is acted upon by opposite force. So in trading, the momentum is similar as per its developer, and this indicator tries to use the volatility and the accompanying momentum to determine how strong the momentum is, how it is unfolding, whether it is bullish or bearish, and if it is bullish or bearish, whether it is getting stronger or getting weaker. All these things are considered using this indicator. It is derived by taking into consideration the relative volatility index, and its linear regression is derived using least square method, and that's how we get these inertia output values for the given calculation period. Let us now head to the JForex 4, the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA, which makes trading a pleasant experience. And this interface, which is easy to understand and equally easy to use, makes the trading fun, and with ease you can perform the execution of all the trades. So that is the one of the many features which has been provided on this platform. Now to add this indicator, all you need to do is a quick search. Simply type in saying, all right, here it comes. Inertia. This is a bounded indicator. Its output value can be in between 0 to 100. It can't go into the negative territory, nor it can rise above 100. So this is one of the bounded indicator. The 50 is a defining marker. Below 50 is considered to be indicative of the bearish volatility, and when the output of the inertia is above 50, it means the volatility is directed upwards. Here, there is the Euro USD chart with each candle period defined at hourly. I have plotted this inertia indicator with the default parameters with SMA, and 20 is its calculation period. So we are taking the SMA of the relative volatility index. You can vary these applied parameters. You can go for different calculation period. You can use different moving averages. So all that customization can be done to make it more suitable for your trading style, for your trading strategy. This is the smoothing period of 20 and smoothing type is SMA. You can vary it. Okay, we will look into this customization later on. Let's now look at the concept. Concept, as I explained to you, there is a derivative of the RVI, the relative volatility index. The study of this indicator simply takes the form of a linear regression curve, which is derived using the least square approximation method of the RVI. You can use it as a additional factor, or you can use it as a stand alone indicator also. whatever is your system, if you are a veteran or a novice in the market, it doesn't really matter. You can use this for improving the probability of your trades for whatever is your time horizon, whether you are an intraday trader or a swing trader. All you need to do is vary your candle period, and accordingly you will get these trade generations using the inertia indicator. One simple method is to use 50 as a critical marker. If the output of the inertia crosses above 50 from below 50, then you can start looking for buy trades. The same concept can be applied in a inverted fashion to look for the short sale trades when the output of the inertia drops below the 50 from above 50. Here, if we look at the Euro USD chart for each candle predefined at 5 minutes, we had this momentum strongly bearish from 13:30 GMT onwards when it dropped below these 50, which is a defining marker, and then it continued to trend downwards with this inertia value at one point in time dropping to 30, but from there on it has rebounded. And if we now look at it, after initially rising and then giving up these higher levels to cross below 50 in the bearish territory, but it didn't really go downward much, and in short span of time again the price action is changing course and going on to rise. Now if we look at the Euro USD's 5 minute chart and try to look at the plotting of this inertia indicator, you will see that not all the trades which will be generated, if you were to use a simple interpretation of above 50 to be indicative of the bullishness and below 50 to be indicative of the bearishness, you will see that when the underlying instrument consolidate, it doesn't really go anywhere. In that kind of scenario, this strategy will backfire, as we have seen it multiple times in this short span. Here, if you were to short it, the Euro USD didn't really decline much. It remained sideways around the same price level. Then it rose, but not much, around 7 to 8 pips. And at that point in time, we had the inertia crossing over and rising, indicating a bullish stance. But in no time, the price action changed corner to decline. But by the time the inertia indicator gave us the signal by dropping below 50, it would have been too late, as we saw the price action going sideways and then again the inertia crossing above 50 in due course of time. But here also the price action remained sideways, it didn't go in any direction. And then after this substantial consolidation at this point in time, if we were to take the trade, then that would have brought in some money. But what happens is, if the markets are trending, if a strong trend develops, then you stand to profit. You can use the same criteria of going for the trades above 70 and when the inertia is rising. So all these things can be done. You will have to go for observations over a long period of time and see how the price action and the inertia correlate, how you can go for the optimum trading decisions using this indicator, which is quite good, which is quite responsive, and at the same time, it will also be generating some false signals. Not all the trade signals generated by the indicator are going to be profitable, and more so in sideways scenario where the price action is range bound, nothing much is happening in the market. In those kind of scenarios, multiple false signals are likely to be generated. So we have to be careful and plan our trading decisions accordingly. So we have seen the drawbacks and the utility of this indicator. You can go for these indicators utility. You can go for this indicator in the live market, looking at its value and how likely the momentum is likely to sustain. Now, if we consider the Euro USD hourly chart, here you can notice that the inertia output was quite strongly bullish earlier, but as things went sideways, slowly but steadily, the inertia output started to decline. It remained in positive territory, but this momentum was shifting, and as a result of that, the inertia's output was also dropping, and eventually in yesterday's session it dropped below this critical mark of 50. So as I said, the 50 is also a decisive marker. You can use it, but there are some of the drawbacks which we have already discussed. And to compensate, maybe you can have additional filters like accompanying price action, or maybe you can even look at other indicators to make a combined system of multiple indicators. So you will have to deal with it. You will have to go for the formulations to look for strong momentum. You can go for extreme values and only trade when the momentum is quite strong. So you can do that as well. That will act as a filtering mechanism. Now let us see what we can do in terms of the customization. There are two things which we can vary: the smoothing factor and the smoothing type. Here the smoothing period has been defined at 20 and the smoothing type is 20. SMA, you can vary it. You can go for this different types of the moving averages. So as I vary these applied moving averages, you will see the plotting of the inertia indicator is going to change considerably. You will have to then decide which type of smoothing mechanism to use for this indicator. Here, let us drag this to the upper side, and if we use it, we go for EMA, we go for WMA, we go for DMA. So in all these cases, in each of these cases, the plotting of the inertia indicator is going to be quite different. As we use more refined moving averages, we will have a lot more smoothing. MAMA, if we go over T3, you will see a smooth plotting of the inertia indicator. Of course, the direction is more or less going to remain similar, but the smoothing factor is going to vary. LWMA, SMMA, smoothing period is 20. Now, if I decrease it to say 10, then it becomes a lot more responsive. If I increase it, then it will become a lot more smoother. So you will have to decide what kind of smoothing period is going to be good enough for your system, and accordingly you will have to customize these parameter. Now going to the output, you can go for different color combinations. You can use this default color, or else you can have different color depending on the kind of choice you want. You can go for brighter shades, you can go for darker shades, you can even go for custom color combinations. All these possibilities are there. You can even go for different types of styling, so it becomes much more attractive and as per your taste. The transparency factor can also be varied. If you feel that it is looking too prominent on the chart, you can go for increased transparency. So that possibility has also been allowed on the platform. Levels, we have one level in play of 50, which is being used as a critical level. You can add the levels like maybe 30 and 70 on both sides to have another mechanism, but it's always up to you. This is the default setup with one level defined at 50. Going for the advanced editing option, we calculate a new candle only. When the new candle takes shape on the chart, we will have this output value fixed, and it will change only when the new candle is plotted. Highlight the time period zone, whatever is your smoothing period type, it will be highlighted. Calculate from custom data, we can customize this calculation further with all these options where you can vary the instrument, the candle period, and the spread side. You can go for ask or bid, and in terms of the candle period, you can opt for a different candle period for the purpose of the calculation of the indicator, whereas the charts candle period can be different. So that is one more feature available on the platform. If you want this indicator to be available on all the candle periods, then you have to opt in for this. Else you can specify on which particular candle period you want this indicator, and on that particular time frame it will be available. Base period can be varied as well, but it is not going to make much of an impact for these indicators output value. So that's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me the feedback, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind you of one of the cool feature which was recently added on the platform, where you can have the hot list of booming stocks. You can go for these highly volatile market markedly active stocks which are buzzing for the day. It can be filtered using time frame of hourly, day, weekly, or even monthly. So high gainers or high losers will be included in this list, and it will become much easier for you to focus on active plays in the market rather than going for the trades in which the underlying instrument doesn't really move much. So you will see this hotlist feature just below this option. Here it is, hotlist. You can go for this price change and the applied time frame. You can vary it. You can go for day, the week, the month, last 3 months, 6 months. You can even go for price change or high low range, where it stands in terms of its range or how much price change has been observed recently. So all these factors make the trading fun and profitable at the same time. So do try it and let me know how it works out for you. Now it's time for me to sign off. I will be back tomorrow with a new indicator to explain and work with. See you next time around. Thank you all for joining in. Goodbye.